responding to a data subject access request, a DSAR request. Q1 Dynamics, in cooperation with Nuix, has created a full and defensible application specifically designed for DSAR and FOIA requests. And this application is globally recognized as the leader for automated processing of DSAR and FOIA requests. It comes complete with acknowledgement of the receipt of the request, which is critically important, the ability to accept or reject the DSAR. Remember, you can reject it if it's manifestly unfounded or excessive. It allows for complete verification of identity. And remember, the other information that you need to be able to provide to the requester is the purpose for processing the data in the first place. Why do we have that data from the requester? What was the legal basis for processing the data? What is the data retention policy? Are there any third parties which have relevant data with the identity of the requester? What searches were run and what data sources were searched? As well, we need to be able to locate all the data, redact and review, prepare that data, and don't forget, we have to set clear expectations, not only with the identity of the requester, we also need to do it for all of our data source stakeholders. So what is the expectation when the request comes in to the people in the document storage location with all the filing cabinets? What is the requirement, the expectation for the people that are managing Red Oak CRM, managing other repositories that we cannot electronically get to and automatically call and collect? And don't forget, be transparent to your identity, to that requester. Make sure that you are transparent completely. It's Christmas season. I need 2 more weeks. There is something going on. One of our data sources we can access. The person who knew where that data was in this repository is on leave. So be transparent, because remember, you have a certain amount of time to respond. Most are 27 days. Some allow you up to 45. Depends on the jurisdiction. As well, don't forget, you have the ability to charge fees for the services. So make sure you know, and the app will guide you on whether you can charge fees or not. So Q1 and Nuix can help. We have that intake and centralized requests. We can coordinate with different data repositories and different data store owners. We manage DSARs across different jurisdictions with different subject rights. And we have the complete analysis and reports on DSARs defensively, globally, effectively. Now let's go in and take a look. So if we come into our data repository in our DSAR management console, we can log in, and this can either be hosted in the Nuix cloud or it can be hosted on-prem in your Nuix stack environment directly. So on your Investigate server, on a workstation server, somewhere within your existing environment, it's a great add-on to your current Nuix stack. When you come into the DSAR Center, you have the ability to add a case. You're going to see all the current cases, all the current DSAR requests. You're also going to know what has been confirmed and how many notices have been sent out. We're going to talk about notices in just a second. On all of these, you have the ability, of course, to edit, which is really view only, because once you've created one, you can't edit it. You can archive off the DSAR request, and you can create an individual notice. Now, as well, you can go into any of the DSAR requests, and you can view all of the notices and all the information that has been sent. So every notice that has been sent, remember, when you set up a DSAR, you send the acknowledgement that you have received the DSAR request. You have the ability to challenge the DSAR request, either out and out reject it, which you see here on number 3. You also have the ability to challenge it based on the identity. You need to verify the email address, verify the identity. You can also send notices of status. You can also send notices when it's complete. So everything you do, there'll be multiple notices for every DSAR request. So let's jump back out and let's create one. So if we come in and we create, we come to the intake form. You must give it a name. So we're going to say Jeff V. James. What type of request? Is it a data request? Is it recertification? Is it a valid request? Remember, if it's not a valid request, you can reject it. They didn't give an identity that's legitimate. They didn't give something that is required under the jurisdiction. Do I need an extension? I can set a date. This will immediately go back to the requester and I updating them that you need to get an extension based on whatever the reason. Inclusions. You can add an attachment here that will allow you to give more information. That information to the requester or to the stakeholders of repositories that you cannot automatically get to. So, example, paper documents, those you cannot electronically cull and collect. So these may go to the stakeholders. This is information you can give them that clearly identifies what you're looking for, how they should be preserving it, what should be done, or if it's the requester, exactly what else you need from them on clarity or signature or what have you. Now, you must do everything again by identity. So you can manually enter the identities as they came in, or you can click Add Identity and link to your Active Directory or your company's directory. Now, what's nice is even former employees may reside in the deleted folder, so you still may have them a disabled folder deleted, disabled folder. You still may have them there and be able to select them and then immediately have it populate. If you know any other IDs, you can put them in here and say they also went by this ID, this login name, this domain name. And is the source the self? Is it the identity requesting itself? Or is it a legal representative? Going further down, you can request payment and a reason to request payment. In different jurisdictions, there are allowances for you to be able to charge a fee for completing FOIA and DSAR requests. Not in all, but our application knows most of them, and we will help you with building your own customized reasons why it's can be brought in easily based on your jurisdiction. As well, rejecting a DSAR request. Why am I going to reject this request? And then select your reason. We did inclusions. We can also do exclusions. What am I going to exclude? Well, let's take a look at this. I have notices that go out for birthday wishes, holiday schedules, Christmas party events, milestone anniversaries that go to everybody in the organization. Everybody. Am I going to include those? Maybe. But maybe I say, you know what? I'm not including those. It is in a distribution group that says all employees, and you know what? That's not relevant to this request. Again, talk with your legal counsel, talk with everybody, decide what type of information should be excluded. Maybe it's privileged, legally privileged information. Maybe it's got secret information for your organization, source code or financial or some information that you will not want to disclose. Sometimes you can redact, Sometimes you're going to withhold the actual artifact. Now, communicating. What is the email address of the requester? Is it legal counsel or is it themselves? What is their full email address? How often am I going to send updates to the requester? Set that schedule. I like to do every 7 days. It's just what I like to do. System will automatically say, here's where you're at. Collection is done. It's now in review. Review is completed. It's now being produced. Production is completed. It is now ready to be downloaded or is on its way to you, as the case may be. Or if it's data deletion, then the deletion process is begun, etc., etc., etc. So every stage along the way. When I talk to requesters, I get to include things like privacy policy, rights documents, anything else that's relevant to the DSAR or FOIA request, I can include copies. And I can either save this or I can save and create my DSAR. And if I do that, I can now do two things. When I create my DSAR, I can say who can view this. Groups in my Active Directory, I can include or exclude, because there is a possibility that people coming into this system may not be able to see everything. As well, I can BCC a recipient, legal counsel, privacy office, depending on what I want, I can set that. Okay? James V. Jeff, notice 2. I also have default notices, information that I can send to either the stakeholders or to the requester. I have escalation and release and reminder notices as well. Well, let's look at the initial notice. When you open it, it allows you the ability to edit any of the information. When you edit that information in this small box, it is not pretty. So what you can do is you can click the full screen. And now you have the ability to change or remove any of this information. I want to add an image. So I can upload and browse to an image, go to my pictures, pick my logo, say OK, and now I have my logo. I normally have information that is legal is already approved. I will create all of this and I will be able to copy and paste this as it came in directly. And what would it look like to the requester? I can click that preview and that is exactly what it would look like to the requester. Now, the power of this is I can print this, I can italicize, I can bold, I can do anything I want with this area. When I'm comfortable with it, I come out of full screen and I keep right on going. At any time, I can now save any of this information as a template. So I have my initial notices. I also have escalation. If I have a timeline and I am required to have either the requester or a data source owner reply to me or get me the information at a certain time and they miss that deadline, I want to send an escalation notice. Every 7 days, I want to send a reminder notice. And when everything is completed and released, I want to send the release notice. So multiple notices that you can create templates for. And again, you can save, cancel. For us, we're going to save and create that notice. Now, as you can see here, as we're building this notice, the body has the notice that we have just pasted in. But I can say, no, I want to load it from the template. If I do that, I have my reject notice, my reject for governing laws, my completed request. I'm going to choose my reject. And now, automatically from template, now I've got my notice for reject. Okay? And I can select who I'm going to send this to. It could be that identity. I could add the custodian directly from here as either a directory user or a case custodian. Okay? As well, there's that confirmation text that we want back. We want them to be able to come back to us and say, I've read it, I acknowledge, or I read it and I will comply, or I read it and the data has been collected, whatever the response that you're looking for. And again, I can now save this as a new template. I could save as a draft. I'm not ready to send it yet, or I can submit it and send it. But before I do, from the top, not only do I have the email information, and I'm now going to say reject to DSAR, no relevant data. I can also set things like a questionnaire. I can ask questions, either a multiple choice radio button, so you select one answer, a multiple choice checkbox, I can select more answers, free text, even a linear scale. So if I say radio button, my question might be, were you employed in 2020 in the marketing department? I can say yes or no. And because there's no other option, I can remove that one. I can add attachments, images, and I can make this field required or not for them to answer. And I can add as many questions as I want. As well, I can go to the schedule and I can schedule this notice. When do I want it to go out and when does it stop? I can enable status reminders. I told you I like to do these every 7 days on the same day at a specific time so that the requester knows what's going on, knows the latest status, and also reminds any of the data source stakeholders to make sure they're giving the data. I can set a specific reminder date if we have something special happening that we need to get to, as well escalation date. Remember I said if you request something, they don't respond, I want to escalate. When I'm warm and fuzzy that I've got it all, I hit submit. And now here it is as created. If I look at the ones that are created, I can see in any of these, like this one, 6 notices. If I click on that, I can see all of the notices that have gone out. Verifying email address, saying that the email address is verified, saying that the notice is complete, saying that everything is good. I have all of this. That's my defensibility. And if any of these I have requested responses or confirmations, I can come up to the notice responses. They would be listed here. Now, what's interesting is as I create these, you will see that the status is created. When they are sent through SMTP, it'll say sent. And when they've been confirmed, they will come back as confirmed. So let's take a look at one that is confirmed. There's one that is confirmed. And when they're confirmed, you can look at notice responses and you can view what the person came back with. I have no information relevant to this data, to this matter. So even if a data repository stakeholder, the paper file folders, everything, they come back and say there's nothing with that identity, that's your confirmation. Now, once you've managed your notices, the next thing you want to be able to do is search and collect. So this DSAR application has the ability to collect into over 200 data sources. And you can add data sources that are relevant to your environment. Everything from Google to Office 365 and Exchange, Dropbox, OneDrive, FileNet, Salesforce, Workday, LinkedIn, FileNet, all the ones that we have, over 200 repositories that you can collect into automatically. Now, when you run your search and collection, you can run a collection. You can also run a search hit only. Now, what's the difference? I do a search hit. I'm not collecting yet. I'm coming back with the number of hits for the word James. I can then know my entire corpus. And I can then try to cull down to try to get to the right James. Because remember, it's not just the name. If they say I want everything with James's name in the body or the attachment, what if somebody says in the email, send Jim to my office? He's being reprimanded. How would I even know which James they're referring to? So you do search hit only, get the large corpus, then try to work with your requester, your stakeholders, your privacy and legal counsel to get it down to the relevant identity. So all you need to do is set your DSAR name, set your data source. Again, we have all kinds, over 200. You can do an in-place hold. You can do a collection. And we even allow you to load the search from a template file. So we give you a template that you can download. You can complete it. The lawyers can put in the name, the advanced Boolean query, everything, and you just upload it and run it. When you're in your repository, you can set the archive. What is the mailbox or directory or archive that we're going after? Is it everybody, or are we selecting only specific archives within the environment? Okay. As well, you can set a staging folder. I showed you earlier, this is your staging area where you can have all of the data, once it's collected, reside. And it'll now go from here into the Nuix workstation or Discover for full processing, deduplication, redaction, and export, where then the Q1 DSAR app can now deliver it to the requester or perform the deletions or whatever the request is. So you can set that staging folder. You can set your date and size of all of your documents that you're going to search on. You can have an email and communication search where you can have your advanced Boolean and all of your keyword searches. You can search the subject, the body, the attachment. You can also search the from, the to, the CC, BCC, and an or, any, or all. Now, why is that important? Because now I could come here and I could say Eric and James from. Now, that is now showing us that any email from Eric or, because it's any, James is what I'm looking for. I don't have to do specific ones. Of course, it couldn't be all because it's impossible to have two from addresses in the same email. And then I can do my ands and ors. Simultaneously, I have my documents and attachments search. So not only am I searching email and communications, so Skype, Teams, Bloomberg, all the different chats and email, I can search at the same time all the document repositories, home drives, OneDrive, Google Suite, anywhere else, Box.com, anywhere else for documents and attachments with its own query, its own advanced Boolean, as well author. As well, I want to search on file content or file name, or folder name. And I can search by file extension only. Now, the power once you submit this search is it's going to be in a pending state, whether it's a search hit only or collection. It's going to run, and when it completes, the first thing it does is it tells you it's finished. If it fails, it'll tell you it failed. And yes, we have failures. Count passwords change, repositories go down, there's a myriad of reasons why things fail. When it's finished, it's going to show you a report, a results. So you come to actions, click result, and look at what it shows you. Success, total number of hits, total deduplicated hits, the time, the number of identities it's searching on, and the location of the collection path. Now, again, you'll be able to see it here under all of these tasks, but in reality, the details of all of this are already into Nuix Workstation or Nuix Discover being processed and ready for review. So the automation is there, the power is there, the preservation, collection, and proof of collection is there, as well as the timeline. And if you do a search hit only, there will be another button that immediately says collect. So if I'm okay with the search hit, I'm happy with the numbers, I can just hit collect from here and bring it down. Okay? Very, very powerful. Now, once into the Nuix Workstation or Discover, the review and the redaction and the advanced analytics take effect. And now you can take your entire corpus and bring it down to the potentially relevant data. Then Nuix will either export or produce, we're fine either way, the relevant artifacts. And the DSAR application will automatically be looking in the staging area, pick it up, package it, include the terms and conditions and any other relevant documents, and deliver them to the requester. Or if the request is for deletion of data, once it's approved, then the Q1 DSAR application will go and commence destruction of the identified artifacts approved for deletion. As always, we have full resources of identity lists, those templates that I was telling you about. So we have reject governing laws, completed. You can have as many as you want. And as well, in the newest release that's coming out, you will also have RBAC controls. So full security controls on who can see what and how they're acted on. I showed you the data sources, and finally we have full defensible reporting. Total number of DSAR or FOIA requests, the number that are in sent, confirmed, and released. We have full viewing and searching capabilities straight away. We have tiles of each and every case. As well, we have full customizable search and collection and DSAR reports. So you can come in here and you can say, I want to report on all collections, full collections. That's what I want to report on. And then I can say I want it in Excel, and I am going to generate that report. Then live, that report will come up. You click it, we keep it, we open it, and now we can see the collection type, the hit count, the date, the success, and that collection path that is sitting with all of the data. Okay? So extremely powerful, complete, defensible, global leading DSAR and FOIA processing application. On behalf of Q1 Dynamics and Nuix, I want to thank you for your attention today. Have a good day.